everyone, and welcome to Overcast. Welcome to the 79th episode of Overcast, your Overwatch podcast. I'm Frostee, and again, our awesome two co-hosts are all here together to talk about Overwatch this week. How are you doing, Ova and Soulslain?
Hey, doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. So it's good to have everybody back together. It's been a while. We had a lot of crazy stuff come up, which delayed us even longer than we thought. We thought we were going to have an episode last week, and it didn't happen for some crazy reasons. You could cue yakety sax with what happened, almost. But we're here. We're all good. There's lots of stuff to talk about. Lots of things going on in the Overwatch world. Let's get the formalities out of the way, and then we'll dive into all this stuff. So remember, you can follow us on Twitter at Overcast Show. You can also head to our blog page, which is overcast.frozenfoxmedia.com. If you want to see what's going on in the world of the Frozen Fox Media Network, podcasts, content, and other things, just head over to frozenfoxmedia.com. And if you're watching the video version of this on YouTube, thank you very much for that. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and let us know what you think. Or if you're listening to the audio version on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, or anywhere else, if you love the show, let us know by leaving us a review. And wherever you watch or listen, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of the show. So there you go. It's that's the formalities for the week. You get to hear it once again, right?
Absolutely. So has there been any Overwatch in our lives over the last 2 weeks? Frosty, how about you?
Well, about 2 weeks ago there was, but then things went a little crazy. It was finals, got those out of the way, and then after I got finals out of the way, it was time to go to graduation, which meant I had to head down to Alabama for graduation down there, which was awesome. It's really cool to be done with school, like not have to think about what kind of paper I have to turn in next or studying for tomorrow's class or anything like that. Or even getting up early tomorrow. I don't have to do that right now either, luckily. Just have to study for the bar. But yeah, I got to do that. Besides road tripping with my parents for basically a week, which was just kind of crazy. Yeah, I love my parents and all, but spending like a week with them in a car it's kind of stressful. And it's more they got on each other's nerves, and it was like the awkward having to sit there and listen to that for a week than anything else. It was kind of like, okay, I think they're more stressed about my sister's getting married, so they're having to like deal with planning that, so it's got them like on edge.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been great. You know, it's I'm finally I can get my evenings back. I don't have to think about what do I have to study for tomorrow or read these 100 pages for class. I can just like play games, write about video games, and that means that I can also do better at producing video games. Through all of law school, and I've been doing, like, for example, doing this podcast, it's been like one of those things where it just has to fit in between studying, and now I can actually like devote a lot more time to production quality and stuff. So
yeah,
a lot of that will come through in the next few weeks.
Start thinking about what team comp we can put together, right?
Team comp we can put together.
Yep.
Doing more evening events, and also lining up better guests for us to grill here on the show.
Perfect.
Yeah,
love it.
You could play Mercy. I'll play Lucio. And Ova could do Widow or maybe Soldier on attack.
There you go. We got it.
We just need 3 people to fill. So if you guys are listening, want to fill, hit us up.
Hit us up on Discord. There you go. Just team up.
Yep.
Awesome. That's pretty much what I've been doing. It's like time to hop back in the game now.
Cool. Yeah. Soul, how about you?
A little bit of Overwatch, but also doing some other stuff. I guess this talks a little bit about me. I hiked 70 miles in 4 days, which was pretty fun. I hiked with 3 other people with me, so we did a group hike. It was very enjoyable. It was just to get out, take a break, de-stress. One of my other hobbies besides video games. But then quickly as I came back, I played Hearthstone as well. Got rank 12. Bounced back down to rank 13 though. Been trying Hunter a little bit. Mid-range Hunter I've been playing for like forever. But then I tried out the new Quest Rogue deck, which is basically about just bouncing back your low-cost minions over and over again until you get 4 of them played, and then you get 5 minions after you play that quest. So it's pretty much all about like your first draw, if you're gonna win or not. I've gotten it on like turn 4, and people just instantly quit. They have like 30 HP. They're just like, "Yep, this is it. Nope, you got it. You win." They instantly give up. Either you completely win or you completely lose. Just depends on what cards you get. Yeah. But I've also been still playing Gwent, which has been pretty fun.
Nice.
A little bit different than Hearthstone, but it's a CCG, and I've actually gotten the second highest rank that you can get right now on it. Doing pretty good. I've been enjoying it. They recently had a Gwent Challenger, which I watched too, and Overwatch, of course. But I've been mostly playing quick play actually, because my one friend, Pedal Bike, he enjoys playing quick play, so I've been just doing that with him because I like playing competitive, but it's also fun to play with friends too. So I'll just do whatever he wants to play and just join him with that.
Yeah, it's fun to hop in like that no stress, well, not as much stress environment, you know.
It's like no stress. Yeah, Genji, Hanzo, Widow, straight comps. You really just can't stress about like who's picking what. You just gotta do your own thing. Maybe practice a little bit on one hero you're not good at. Yeah. It's gotta enjoy it a different way.
I like doing that too, and you hope that you land with like a good team that you know that can win or just have fun with, and then you just like stay as team and just ride it out. You know? So Ova, what have you been up to then?
Yeah, similar to you actually. I had a family graduation over the last week or so. My sister graduated from college, from a recent local college here in Pittsburgh. So she's excited, has a job all lined up. It was a nice weekend. We celebrated that. It was a good day for it. No rain, wasn't cold. So that was good. Yeah, and then other than that, been playing Overwatch and Hearthstone. I got rank 13, so not as close as you, Soul, but close.
Pretty much there.
Pretty much there.
Yeah.
It's tough beyond that. I think that's like top 20, top 15% of Hearthstone players. So beyond that, it's pretty competitive. I've been playing the Quest Warrior, which is you basically drop 7 aggro or taunt minions, and then you get the sulfurous thing that just does 8 damage to pretty much anything. So once you can ride the game out, you pretty much win. Yeah, it's fun. So
that's awesome.
Been doing that, and then Overwatch, of course, competitive, quick play. So it's been good. Been a good couple of weeks.
Well, cool. Let's we're still in the season for a little bit longer, because I think we're about to roll to season 5 pretty soon, actually.
Yep.
So I can honestly say I haven't been doing any competitive because it's been like quick play, and then I was on my trip and haven't been doing anything hardly since. I was trying to get back into like this feeling of like having my life back lately. I don't know if you guys have any season experience, any competitive experiences you want to share or anything. Anything that stuck out? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing crazy. No, it's just been kind of more the same for me. Just trying to get better at different heroes. So I haven't been climbing as much. Just trying to refine my skills and map awareness, game awareness, but I haven't seen anything crazy. I don't know about you, Soul.
I've actually switched my play a lot more, and I don't play as wide of a range of heroes. I'm usually playing either Lucio on attack or maybe sometimes Mercy if we have a Pharah. So it's like I'm just focusing on a few heroes that try to actually progress a little bit instead of flexing. I will if I have to, but usually if I pick like right away, someone else will pick that Reinhardt or Winston or something like that. So nice. I just do supports now, mostly.
Support for the win.
Yep. Love them.
Well, let's just kind of flow right into talking about kind of what's going on with the competitive meta right now. And again, I just kind of pulled some of the information from Overbuff, so thanks to them. I love how they continually update this information because they do a lot of analysis of it. It's really cool. And, well, we still have Lucio on top, so you're playing a popular hero there. But we have somebody. We have a new challenger in the tier 1, so in like the 80% range there, and that's Winston. And I don't know, when I looked at that was kind of surprising to me. I didn't think Winston would rise up that far, but I don't know, maybe the recent Shield meta we talked about.
Shield meta is real, I think. Well, I mean, he's my arch nemesis because I play Widow so much. So yeah, Winston gives me problems, but yeah, I think the Shield's pretty powerful. He gets in, gets out, can be really disruptive. So I can definitely see why he's setting up there. Yeah.
We continuing on to tier 2, I think it was really interesting. I saw that Zenyatta now is up into tier 2. So we have the rise of Zenyatta. And I've seen a lot of people playing Zen lately, like tons of people playing him. And I think he must be in a good spot, and people are really kind of just falling into that groove. So pretty nice stuff. We got a Tracer up there as well with Diva and 76 in that 50% or so tier. And then tier 3 down there we have Genji and Ana. So Genji up there. And then rounding at tier 4 we got Pharah, Mercy, Reinhardt, Roadhog, McCree, and Zarya.
Yeah.
Do you think the Genji's there because of the sweet skin?
Yeah, people just playing him anyway. There's like,
I have to.
You got to get that out there. You got to show it off.
And then people play Winston to counter it, so Winston's so popular by in turn,
So, but we're starting to see, all the tiers getting filled in. We didn't have that a few weeks ago. It was just like, it was very sporadic. A lot of people in tier 5 a few weeks ago. Remember that? And like nobody in tier 1. And I think there was a part of the time where there was somebody or nobody in tier 3 for a while, wasn't there? I think there was.
Yep.
Like
that. Or tier 4, I think.
Yeah, tier 4. So.
And yeah.
So what do you think about like this new distribution? I don't know. I'll ask you, Soul. Things are changing in that competitive look here.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that the Winston went up to tier 1, even though there was 0 balance changes for the longest time. Like all of a sudden now Winston is top, and tier 2 we have Zenyatta, which was never that high before, and he actually passed Ana as a healer.
Yeah.
I know that in dive comps though they usually run Zenyatta and Lucio mainly, so I guess that might be it. And they don't even in tier 4 is Reinhardt, which is supposed to be like the core of your team normally. So I guess with all the dive comps, they just said, heck with the Reinhardt. Who needs a shield when they're diving us anyways? Just barely ever play Reinhardt and go with something like the counter the dive.
Yeah.
So that's it. Those are the most notable, I think, for me.
Yeah, it seems like in competitive that dive comp must be getting pretty popular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying, the rise of Zenyatta, because forever I think he was in tier 5 and just kind of just wandering out in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden he's just the pick. He is the the guy, the go-to now. But that ult is so powerful, you can't deny it.
Good.
And he had some balance changes in like the last while, I guess you could say. So I think that must have just brought him into that like a sweet spot for that use. I know. What do you think, Ova?
Yeah, I would agree. It's really interesting. I don't think we've ever seen him that high up there before. But I think, Soul, you're right with the dive comp. That's typically the healers that you'll see is the Lucio with the Zen. So yeah, I can see why it's there, but it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, and it's surprising to see him pass Ana. I think as well as popular as that comp might be, it's just one of those things where she was right up there, kind of with Lucio as like the top 2 healers pretty much forever, and to see that kind of shaken up has been a big change. I think the biggest change, even though Zen's risen so far, is that fall of Reinhardt. Just seeing people kind of cast him aside.
Yeah.
Because he was like always the tank where it's just like he's the go-to guy. You just pick Reinhardt. He's got the shield.
That's so.
Why not? The mobile flank or the mobile front you could always have. and to see him fall all the way down to like the 5% usage is just kind of like really weird to see.
Yeah. How about Orisa with like 0%?
Yeah, Orisa. They could just improve her a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she needs a little bit of work, honestly.
Yeah.
But
Do you think they should give her back the huge clip again?
I don't think it's that. I don't know. What do you think?
No, yeah, I'm not sure. I think maybe it's the whole shielding thing. That it's not as good as a Reinhardt, so why are you gonna pick that? She's less mobile than Reinhardt, so why are you gonna pick her there? If you want range, you have it with your DPS.
Yep.
So maybe it's something with her kit. For me, anyways. I'm not sure.
I could see why that interchange between her and Winston would have taken off, because with the shield meta and like the crazy mobility and other things in his kit that Winston can do. Right now, he's just seeming like a better pick. And
yep.
When she came along, yeah, she has kind of an interesting combination of abilities, but it just doesn't work out for competitive. It could be, it's kind of fun to play, but at the same time, it's not like compelling. It's not going to win your games. So
yeah.
I think the ad is on that Zenyatta ult. I mean, you can use it defensively for dive comps like Soldier, Zarya, Genji ults are like hard countered by that.
Yep.
Just heal everyone, or even dive comps on attack. You could Zenyatta ult everyone in safely and then just wreck the other team once you're there too.
Yeah.
His ult's pretty good, like you said.
Using that ult on offense is awesome to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're on the other side, and then you're like just getting trucked by them, kind of.
Yep.
Nice. Well, let's just talk about some changes to the game. Let's talk about I think these are some of the recent PTR things that have happened since we last recorded, since it's been a little bit of time. But let's just talk about some of the changes that we've seen to the game in the PTR. So let's talk about Genji. One of the things they did was remove the attack cooldown from his wall climb so he could engage faster. So, I don't know, what do you think about that? Just, you don't have to like wait for him to kind of set himself as fast or as slowly as it used to be.
Genji's already annoying, so this just feels like he's gonna wreck me even faster.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't play a lot of Genji, so I'm not probably the best one to speak to this, but seems like they wanted to make it a quality of life improvement, and I can see how that's possible with this. So should be good for the Genji mains.
Yeah, the Shimada buff continues with Hanzo as well, so you got the same thing. But he also got the charge speed on the bow increased a little bit, just a little bump in that, and you can also keep it charged if you hold the button down while you wall climb now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's incredibly annoying. I think Hanzo players, Soul Hanzo main 420 here might enjoy that because you could just have that fully charged arrow from climbing the wall. So I don't know.
Would be nice.
I don't know if it'll really matter in the end. If you're really go ahead.
I was gonna say, is that enough for people to stop, booing Hanzo mains or getting upset when someone picks Hanzo?
I don't think so. There's gonna have to be more.
When they changed his hit scan where it was awful, and then they gave him back tree trunks, and they're like, "Oh, this is better now."
Yeah.
Like, oh, great, awesome.
Yeah. Orisa had the fusion driver damage reduced by 15% in PTR, and the protective barrier, the cooldown was reduced from 12 to 8 seconds. Not, a little bit better to have the chance to get more shields out there, but already had her gun nerfed before, get it nerfed in damage now. I don't know.
I don't know. They shouldn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I was saying earlier is that, like, you're tanking, you want to have that shield up and available for your team, but it's stationary.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to help a little bit, but I don't think it's something that's going to push her up to the top of the meta.
Yeah. When we first saw Orisa, she started out as what I thought was really like Neapolitan, and then now she's like vanilla kind of now.
Yeah. So I agree.
We got rid of all the other flavors. She's kind of just, it's not doing anything for me at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they should have reduced the damage that much, or maybe they should have increased her aim, because Yeah, sometimes if you get someone really close, with Orisa, I've just been able to like 1v1 people easily. But like at long range or even like 25, 30 meters, she's pretty crappy, I think, on her damage. It's like you can't hit anything with her unless they're like right next to you. So it's like, I don't know if the damage reduction is actually that great because you could only really kill people anyways at short range. It was good for breaking shields though. I sometimes got gold damage, so maybe that's what they're thinking of.
Yeah.
And they're reducing the damage.
Trying to kind of balance her out with the other DPS stat wise at least.
Yeah. Or even reduce her damage comparatively with the other tanks maybe.
Yeah, that could be it then.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Reaper player, you'll enjoy now on the PTR your ammo will automatically refill when you use Wraith form. So you don't have to worry about reloading then. And Earthshatter, this is kind of like a quality of life change for people that are on the other receiving end of it for Reinhardt.
Mm-hmm.
The height has been lowered from 3 to 2 meters, and the height that it climbs object has also been lowered from 3 to 2 meters. So if you're standing on like a really tall bridge, it's not going to climb up to the top of the bridge and Earthshatter you. Or if you're flying way above it, it's not going to like, take you out. So
yeah. I was standing on a bus on what is that, Numbani?
Yeah.
And the Reinhardt's kind of like in that horizontal path as you're turning the corner, and he caught me on an Earthshatter there. I was like, that's insane. That's way too high up to be caught. So I'm kind of glad to see this change.
Yep.
Or even Lucia wall riding, I've been like knocked off the wall with the Earthshatter. Even though when I'm Reinhardt, it seems like I've never hit anyone high up. It's always on the ground. Like if it's even a little bit off the ground, it's like it doesn't hit them.
Uh-huh.
I'm just maybe bad. Probably just bad.
I think I'm the same. It's like I can play him and hit like one person, and then every other Reinhardt will hit like our entire team. So
mm-hmm.
Finally, sad day for 76 and his pulse rifle. His damage was reduced by 1, so from 20 to 19, sadly.
Never gonna get picked again now.
Yeah, I wouldn't choose this hero anymore.
Yeah.
F tier now for sure, so it's over. So there's some recent changes. There's always more coming, especially as we get closer to the end of this season and that transition to the new one. We'll probably see some shake-up, I'm sure, and getting it kind of set for the next one. And
well, I guess just a quick last point on Soldier. I guess that is 25 points of damage, right? It is 25 in his clip, so that out of a percentage is actually probably pretty significant. So
yeah, through the whole clip. So
anyways,
it does play out over time. I mean, the thing is, like a lot of this too, if it's driven by competitive reasons, a lot of highly competitive people will analyze that and they'll have that same analysis that you did. They'll weigh that and be like, well, if I'm having problems, it's not going to get any easier now. So
yeah.
What he said, body shots, if you do, was it usually your 5-shot burst, you're only doing 95 damage now instead of 100. So that's going to take you more than 2 burst shots to hit a 200 health target usually. So
yep.
You're not going to be able to kill him unless you're getting a few headshots in there.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if he slides. I don't know if it'll be much, but he might not be an always must pick DPS, right? We didn't get to recap Uprising that much, but there was an infographic that was released that gave us some information about what we did, all of us together during Uprising. Mm-hmm. So let's look at that. During the event, there was 145,506,333 Uprising Brawl matches completed. So how many times did we see that victory screen? We actually lost the war, I would say, because about 67 million Overwatch victories to 78 million Null Sector victories. So that's we kind of lost in the end, I guess.
Yeah, we did. We lost.
But we destroyed over 8.5 billion Omnics in that time.
Nice. Oh, I hate the Omnics. They're awful.
8.5 billion. That's crazy. The most destroyed by a single player I don't know. Did you guys see this, or can I venture a guess whether it was on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, or PC? Which one?
Go for it.
Who do you think?
I just looked at it, so I can't say it.
Yeah, I already looked at it.
No,
I didn't know if you looked at it.
I would have guessed PC because of the accuracy and everything originally.
That is what I would have guessed too if I had to guess. And PC was actually last with 1911. Second was Xbox One with just over 2100, and PlayStation 4 wins out 2360. So most destroyed in a single game.
They play all those zombie modes on Call of Duty. They're pretty good at this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely. The average win rate in story mode was only 75% on the lowest skill level, and if you cranked it up as high as you could go, 0.6% was your win rate.
Not gonna happen.
That's why I didn't even try. I'm not that good at the game.
Yeah.
And I was curious to see like how, if there was going to be a really big disparity in the average completion times, the fastest. It wasn't too much on the average, but the fastest on the lowest skill level was about just under 11 minutes, and on the highest skill levels, 14 minutes even was the fastest. So there you go. The highest score achieved was 27,511, and in all heroes mode, the most picked heroes were Bastion, Mercy, Orisa, and 76.
Yeah.
And the win rate on the highest difficulty went up to 1%. So being able to kind of make your team the way you want it to made it a little bit easier, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And there was 203 million Uprising loot boxes earned, and the most crafted skins were, of course, Genji, and then we had then we had McCree, as well as Mercy and Reinhardt rounding that out. So we killed a lot of Omnics, and we could be proud of that. Even if we lost out on the total numbers, we could be proud of how many Omnics we killed, I think.
Did any of you craft some of these? Were you part of this most crafted?
My data is not in there. I crafted the tracer.
Did you get some of these loot boxes?
I'm in the loot box number. That's about it.
Adding to that, just cranking them out. So, yeah.
I'm surprised. They crafted Reinhardt. I mean, it was just a plain blue skin. I'm really surprised people wanted him so much.
Yeah, I thought the Tracer would be up there too, right? Because I thought the Tracer skin was pretty cool, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one it's an epic though, right? The Reinhardt one was. So
Reinhardt,
maybe.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess it's cheaper to craft. So.
It's because everybody crafted like the Genji, and then they just did what they had left over. That's what it was.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the Overwatch World Cup. We are currently in Phase 3, which is the group stage part now. The voting has ended. I hope you voted if you're here in America or wherever you might be. 2 of my votes made it into the top 3 here for the U.S., though. The top 3 that made it were Stir, Kiki. I don't remember if that's how they pronounce her name. That's how I've always pronounced it when I read it. And Jason Kaplan. Our very own Jason Kaplan.
Oh yeah, Jason Kaplan.
But no, those 3 made it in. I voted for Stir and Jason, so they made it in. I thought they would make a good, well-rounded team. That's what it looked like it was going to be.
What's their rank on Overwatch? Jason Kaplan's. I know he's a caster, but how good is he?
I don't remember what it is. I mean, I know he's in the top 500. But that's all I know. So.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Didn't know.
So we have the groups assigned too for the first part of the tournament here for the top 32, and I wonder how we're gonna see it end up. We don't have, we have South Korea on their own in Group E. Nobody that looks like they're gonna beat them. Group F has Canada, Russia, Singapore, and Turkey. So I wonder if Canada could give them a run. In that bracket. Group G is where the U.S. is, and that's the United States, Chinese Taipei, and also Brazil and New Zealand are there. So, and then Group H is the UK, Germany, Israel, and Belgium. I think that's going to be an interesting group, especially between the UK and Germany.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Group A and B are going to be in Shanghai when they go at it. Sydney will be the home for Groups C and D. Poland will be Groups E and F, and Groups G and H will be in Burbank when they play. And you can go and check it out on the World Cup website to see where they're going to be playing. I'm not going to read all the brackets off yet, but we'll be doing a bracket challenge for the show when it gets closer here. So be on the lookout for that. We'll have a good time with this again. And I don't know. What do you think about this top 32 showdown, though? You think it's going to be exciting? You think we'll see any surprises come out, or you think it might be like last year and a bunch of steamrolling?
South Korea for the win. That's all I gotta say.
Calling it now.
Huh? Yeah. South Korea is going to do well, but I don't think it's going to be such a steamroll this time because they're picking from the top ranks from each region.
Yep.
Should be pretty close games, I think. But you're pulling together people just from the region, but they're not actually organized teams, so they'll have to practice together a little bit.
Yep.
Get organized.
And just to clarify that, I believe, and correct me here, that these rankings, 1 through 30 or whatever, is based on the top SR from the region, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that. I mean, maybe it does mean that these teams are better, but I think we'll see some upsets. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. Just because they're seeded high doesn't mean that they're going to win it all. I think that's my prediction.
I agree. I think because these are based off of the list before we even started. Basically, these are the regions and how they were ranked by, like you said, by the top SR there. And so, just because you have somebody amazing, and that could screw up your seeding, you could get thrown into the lion's den. You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there might be some people that maybe they weren't 4,200 players, but they were all pretty good, and you get them together and they can do a good job as a team when their team might be, maybe they're Italy and they're 20th, but they're all really good as a team as a whole. And so we'll just have to see how it all comes out. I think we could have some surprises. The Group E with South Korea in their bracket, I mean, they're second. They have the Netherlands that's 15th, Poland that's 18th, and Austria that's 31st. So there's next to last. I'm curious to see if anybody can challenge them in that bracket. I don't know if it's really going to happen in that one, but some of the others are closer. I mean, there's some that are, Denmark and France, they're 8th and 9th in their bracket. So it's like anybody's game in that one.
Right. Yep. And
Argentina, they're 25th, but if I remember right, last year they did pretty good. So if I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken, but
yeah.
So we'll just have to see.
Do you think that on this tournament, it looks like last year there was no prize pool? Is there going to be a prize pool this year? I don't see anything yet about if not there's going to be a prize pool for the top winners.
I don't know. I don't think I've seen anything definite on that. So
more of an Olympic style thing, I think, versus a prize pool tournament style.
Yeah, but I mean, Blizzard has enough money to at least give them a little bit of money, to win as even at the top 3 teams or something like that.
Something more
just
than
a little
just
bit of cash. Say good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe as we get closer, that'll be announced too. I don't know.
I think this will also be a place to showcase skill for Overwatch League and professional teams. So I think that's also part of the value of playing in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Overwatch League scouts.
A lot of visibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that definitely works.
Well, let's kind of talk about Overwatch League because there's been a lot of news about Overwatch League lately, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can read the stories. It's been all over. There was a whole bunch of stuff about how Overwatch League was in turmoil, and then Blizzard's been trying to put out the fires, and then a bunch of esports teams leaving the Overwatch scene, I guess you could say. We got 6 teams now that have pulled out. But is it as bad as we think? So, first of all, let's talk about teams pulling out of Overwatch competitive. So, we got Dignitas pulling out again. Yep. So they're the 6th team to pull out. But is it the death of Overwatch competitive? These big teams pulling out, or is it just kind of not really? Doesn't really not matter, right?
Yeah.
Soul, you were talking about it before the show with me. So what do you think?
Yeah, it was just reading something on competitive Overwatch that it was something like 6 teams were pulling out of Overwatch, and what was explained was that there was only maybe one like top tier team that was actually pulling out of Overwatch, and they weren't actually winning any of the tournaments anyways. So, and a lot of the other teams were just lower tier teams that didn't really impact as much. So I think maybe it was maybe overstated on how bad it was. It's not really that bad, I don't think.
Yeah. So I kind of feel the same way. You know, I feel like Overwatch competitive is still pretty healthy. It's not like losing so much that it's kind of crippled or anything by any means, I don't think. So
yeah. I do think it's a lot of teams though. I don't think there's like, you know, hundreds of professional teams, right? So I mean, if you look at this from a percentage standpoint, it's fairly big, but I think you're right. They were kind of the lower skilled teams, right? You have like Rogue and Envious and Fnatic, teams that are really, really good. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think the scene's going to continue to grow. There'll be new teams to come out, but I'm not concerned for the health of the sport.
Yeah, neither am I. And yeah, the rumors all started getting going when there was this report that came out, and they were like, "Oh, the franchises are $20 million a slot reportedly," and you know, you think about like the average esports team, most of them don't have, you know, even a quarter of that to throw on like a franchise tag. Not a franchise tag, but to get a franchise and everything that comes along with it. So, you know, some teams like, this is just not going to work out for us, you know, if we wanted to be part of this. And, you know, you've got other high rollers, you got like NFL team owners and stuff in there that, you know, that's like chump change for them, right?
Yeah.
To get into this kind of thing. So if that was the truth, if that's really how it works, that is kind of a pretty big barrier to entry. But at the same time, I think that if they get enough people behind it, it's not really going to matter for Overwatch League, because whether the teams are owned by esports teams or they're owned by, you know, rich people, you're still going to have 10 teams maybe, for example.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just the people that own it is going to be the difference. But I think that if you have somebody like an NFL owner, granted they might be investing in it, but they're going to have like, you know, somebody else that's going to be managing the team anyway. So it's going to probably be somebody they're going to pick up from the competitive scene somewhere, you know, some team or something else that knows how things are work. Because they're not going to invest $20 million in a slot without getting somebody that knows what they're doing. They're not going to throw some NFL front office guy in there and be like, you got to put me together a team, you know? And the other thing was the fact that there was a report also that the revenue sharing was only going to be if it was like, what did they say? It wasn't going to be till like 2021, and only if there was like enough profit, at like a certain level of profit. So that was the thing that scared a lot of people too when that started getting out there, because that's something you definitely want. You know, that's how other really big leagues work, is that they distribute money across the teams. You know, they're kind of banded together in that way. And if you couldn't see that for years and years with a big investment on that front end, that's going to scare investors away as well. So I don't know. What do you think, Ova? What do you think about these kind of rumors that are going around?
Yeah, money's obviously a big thing, right? If you're going to play this professionally, you want to earn money, obviously, from doing it. So from a player perspective, these teams might be falling apart even from, you know, that way. Like, they're moving teams to make sure that they're in a place that's going to be, you know, they'll be successful. And then, yeah, like you have what you're talking about, the investor side, the opposite side of things. The barrier to entry may be pretty high. You know, I don't know. I mean, again, these are all rumors, right? So we're not 100% sure. But I think there's probably some things coming from both sides of the coin there that are having an effect on teams dropping out and reorganizing and all that. So
yeah, I when I really sat down and read about this, you know, a lot of it is this report came out, and then, you know, Blizzard was like, it's not really what you think. I think part of they're putting out the fire is that this is a new thing that they're trying to do, and it's a new thing almost for esports when you think about it. It's pretty different to have like an actual like big league that's run the way that big sports leagues are run, with things like football or the NBA and stuff like that. And what I thought might have happened is that they might have had, because we know they've had meetings before where they've had people come and back in the back end with people that would be investors. I'm sure that they've spoken to them, or they've had maybe they've had conference calls together. This is just speculating. I'm just throwing this off the top of my head. Maybe this is what happened. And maybe these kind of things got tossed around, or these numbers got tossed around, and how things would work. And maybe they were spitballing. And so that just kind of gets leaked out and then becomes like the talk of the day before it's actually even settled.
Yeah, I think with this, was it saying that it's just not financially viable? I think that maybe a lot of the lower tier teams are just dropping out because you have to practice so much, but it has to be more of a hobby because you're not getting enough money to do this as your main job, to be like a professional player. But people who aren't dropping out are like Seagull, Short 4, and Paimu, who are like the top players who can easily make that money and also maybe stream on their free time to make money.
They make more money streaming.
Yeah, make more money streaming, and then like the tournaments. Yeah, that's also a thing with Hearthstone. Crip makes more money streaming than he does if he would ever go to any tournament. So it's like, unless he enjoys the tournaments, then he wouldn't go. So I think maybe for the lower teams to stay in it, the prize pools need to be higher all across the board, or maybe this Overwatch League will help.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of what they need to do is, if they can get the investors to get the franchises in place to kind of kick the league off, because we know the big thing about the league was when you're in the league, you get a contract and you get a salary. Like, you don't have to rely on winning tournaments, for example, like, because you're just going to get paid. And if you have that as your full-time job, if they can kind of get the ball rolling, I think that things will kind of take care of themselves. But getting that front end of a lot of money, built up, getting the franchises in place and how they're going to structure everything, that's the part that's, because it's a lot of risk, of course. This has never been done, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it could flop. And the other big question everybody's asking too is, they wanted to do it, I think, in Q3 of this year. Are we going to have Overwatch League on Q3? I don't know if we are or not yet.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't think it's mature enough yet.
I feel the same way. I think with as little that we're hearing about it, and we were just getting these rumors, and then Blizzard having to put fires out PR-wise, and we're not seeing any like publicity of it or anything like that. I think
marketing. Yeah,
we're in a holding pattern till then.
Just one other quick note. If you think about, you mentioned like the whole salary thing and making sure players are guaranteed that money. Remember back last year at BlizzCon, they talked about this in the context of Heroes. They mentioned that they're working towards, I believe, Heroes players earning something upwards of like 100,000 salary-wise.
Yeah.
So this isn't the only game that Blizzard is invested in doing this in. So they may be thinking strategically, how can we apply this to more than just Overwatch? Mm-hmm. Which may be why it's taking a little bit longer than we would think.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know how that's going to work. So, I mean, behind scenes, Blizzard's got like this big plan that they and the nuts and bolts of it, they're probably trying to still figure that out. They got this overarching, this is kind of what our vision is, how do we make this work? And that's still trickling down. The problem is like, when is it going to happen? And with Overwatch League being such a thing that like last year at BlizzCon, it was very exciting to hear about this. Everyone's like, yeah, this is so cool. But without very many more updates since then, that excitement's starting to wane. We're getting to that point where eventually it's going to become like this novelty that it might, it feels like it's never going to happen. And then when it does happen, you've kind of lost that momentum that you had. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I think also to note is when people were saying that Blizzard's taking a huge risk on creating this Overwatch League all on their own, that also they took a huge risk in creating a FPS that they never done before. So, and that worked out really well for them. from scratch and created a whole new lore around these characters. So I think they could pull this off, though.
Yeah, I definitely think they can. So I think when it comes back around, they'll generate the hype again. I mean, they'll get the ball rolling. They just have to kind of reignite everybody that was excited, last year when it was announced. So there you go.
They know how to generate hype.
They do know how to generate hype. You're definitely
loot boxes for everyone.
Hey, did you watch this tournament? Here's a code for a free loot box. So awesome. Well, let's wrap it up with the community stuff. And for the community cards of the week, a few weeks ago now, I actually ended up winning with 50% of the vote. So there we go. There's that. Let's get with the cards, the nominations for this week, though. And I'm going to nominate somebody that I know that's an artist. And that's Tess Garmin. You might know him as Kenkit. And they they painted a piece of McCree. But it was McCree as like a coyote. And it was a really awesome piece to watch them create on Twitch. And I think it just kind of captures kind of who McCree is if you wanted to see him as a coyote. But it's really cool, and yeah, I think everybody should check it out. They do a lot of amazing paintings, though, so if you want to see somebody that does a lot of cool paintings, go and follow them on Twitter. So there's my nomination. How about you, Ova?
Yeah, that one's cool. Very Route 66-esque setting. Yes. I like it. I nominated this week a play of the game. Credit to Kayun. It is looks like a top 500 Genji, and he's going after a Pharah. But the thing that was impressive here is that he's kind of jumping off of the side of the map, and he ults and then flies up in the air with the Pharah to get her. I just thought it was very impressive and a really cool use of Genji's ult.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have seen this. It's awesome. Check it out.
Yes, and then Soul, what do you got for us?
Yes, just recently came out. Brought to you by Wired. Jeff Kaplan answers Overwatch questions from Twitter. So he has more of his witty humor. Overwatch tech support. One person asked, could you nerf Reaper? And he's like, actually, it depends on how well they're playing and the composition. And like we just talked, they're actually buffing Reaper a little bit. In fact, one thing I did find interesting was why did they not slow Reinhardt's movement while he attacks? And it was compared to someone like Rissa or Diva, is because he doesn't have a ranged attack and it is melee. So in order to actually hit people, they felt that it would be better to not slow him in order to do that damage. So some cool things, some funny things as well. Go check it out.
I would definitely say go check that out. That's the advantage of having the delay, at least, is that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And so, as we always do, we want you to become part of our Discord community. So head over to our blog page, and you can go and click on Connect on Discord or on our widget on the page. And now that law school's over for me, I'll have my evenings more free. I want to get some events planned, maybe something, if we can, we can get something regular going. I don't know. But head over there, talk to us, see if you have any questions for the Ask Overcast segment, and let us know. You can also do that on Twitter with the hashtag AskOvercast. And I did get something back from that, but I'm going to save that for my shout-outs. So do you guys have any shout-outs for the week? Ova, what do you have? Do you have anything?
I've been kind of disconnected for the past couple of weeks, so I don't have anything this week.
It's all good. And then, Soul, how about you?
No, I don't have anything.
All right. Well, I've got one, and this is from our good friend, our Pokemari friend. And this is their announcement they wanted for Ask Overcast. And they said, in honor of Overwatch's first birthday, they're going to be holding a giveaway, and on May 23rd, winners will be announced. They're going to be giving away, 2 winners are going to get a Pokemari sticker sheet and autograph, and the other one will win an official Blizzard Pokemari plush, an unopened one, of course, brand new. And so the way you win is you follow them on Instagram. It's Adventures of Pokemari, all one word. Yeah, there you go. If you're watching, Ova's showing off what it is. I've got mine way behind me over there. But simply follow Pocky on Instagram, like the post, and comment where you would like to take your Pocky for their first adventure. And then feel free to repost and share. If it gets to 2,000, a second may be added. So there you go. So go out there.
Yeah.
Very thankful for their giveaway for the community, so we wanted to make sure we get out there. And they're an awesome follower of ours. So that's all we've got for this week. I think that wraps it up. So let's just go around and say, where can people find all of us on social media? Ova, where can they find you?
You can find me, as always, on Twitter or on Twitch at Ovadrive CTR.
How about you, Soul?
Yeah, you know where, at Hanzo Main 420. Yep.
Getting buffed.
It'd be great.
You can find me at Frostee Fox pretty much everywhere out there. So there we have it. And the formalities, of course, for the shows. You can follow us on Twitter at Overcast Show. Overcast.frozenfoxmedia.com is that blog page that we were talking about where you can connect with us and see our show notes and more. If you want to see what else is going on in the network, from all Blizzard games to all video games and everywhere, just head over to frozenfoxmedia.com. We've got podcasts and more that'll we got you covered everywhere. And thank you if you're watching the video version. Thanks for seeing what we have to see, seeing our faces, and also make sure you give us a thumbs up there if you like that. And if you're listening on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, or anywhere else, if you love the show, let us know by leaving us a review on any of those places. And make sure wherever you watch or listen that you subscribe so you don't miss any episodes in the future. This is episode 79 of Overcast, your Overwatch podcast. Thank you again for supporting the show as we've been away for a couple weeks, but we're back. We're back in full force as we get closer to the anniversary of Overwatch, right? So that's coming up here pretty quick. So yeah, again, thank you for listening, watching, supporting, and everything. And we'll see you again next week. I am Frostee.
I'm Ovadrive.
I'm Soulslain.
See you next week.